What's up, everybody? I hope you guys had a great weekend. And you know what time it is? It's time for another weekend hangover. And today I got two great guys that, hey, I got to know a lot of miles, a lot of stories. Let me bring them in. It's Elbuffallo and Disruption. What's up, guys?
What's
What's
up,
going
guys?
on, everybody?
Oh, man, how's everybody's Thanksgiving?
It was
Lazy.
good. I think it's a turkey hangover today.
What about up there in Colorado?
Oh, we did this lazy thing. Just me and Mama sitting on the couch all day. Didn't even cook a bird.
Oh, man. Did you at least flip the bird? I'm just
Nope.
wondering.
Well,
Oh.
we're gonna stay away from that one.
Hey, so before we get going too crazy right now, we got We Ride West Virginia in the house. What's up? Jones is in the house. Cheyenne, Bill the Harley guy. Rob, what's up? Black Belt Bagger. Oh, the better half of the Buffaloes, Miss El Buffalo. Hey, what's up? Busted Knuckles in the house. And Bride the Biker, HD Vibe. Man,
My
hey,
sponsor.
Sinister's in there.
Sinister Dez is here. Wind Road Therapy. What's
Yep,
up?
Des.
What's up? Over on Facebook, we got Dana. That's Crystal's cousin. What's up, Dana? So, all right. So, both of you guys I've rode with. All right. And Disruption, you've actually been the camera guy for us.
Yep.
If nobody knows, Disruption was the camera guy for Zion. So that's how we got the cool follow behind and everything because we strapped that camera right on the front of his bike. It did not fall off. Okay.
It almost got hit by a car or two head on.
Yeah, because he kept going across the center line. You got a few honks, few
Yeah.
stairs.
Yeah.
But now we're in the cool season. So as El Buffalo was explaining earlier, Albuquerque is around what Denver altitude.
Yeah, we're a mile high here in Albuquerque, and it's the difference between Denver and Albuquerque is we're a desert, so we get the cold, but we don't get the moisture. So uh, it's a little bit different. So we get to ride. Uh, I would say there's probably a month out of the year that you can't just because there's some snow on the ground and some ice and whatnot. But outside of that, if you gear up, you can ride.
Oh, we rode what? We rode Saturday.
Yep.
It wasn't too bad. A little cool, but then it warmed up on us.
Yeah, that's the other nice thing is it'll be cold in the morning, but once that sun comes up, it warms it up pretty good. And
Must be nice.
we have an advantage. We have an advantage here in New Mexico too, I think, because you know our northern New Mexico is completely, and you've been in southern New Mexico. They're two different worlds. So you get to, if it's too cold, well, we just head south,
Yeah,
within our own state and ride south.
yeah. Now, Colorado's a little different with your cold weather riding.
I typically shut down 2 weeks ago. We've already had a couple snowstorms. Got to ride a little yesterday just to test the bike, but other than that, it might be a day here, day there.
Right. So you don't really put your stuff in. You don't really winterize it. You just kind of.
I do.
Drops.
I do. I keep it in the garage. I keep it on the battery tender. I keep the fluids. That's when I do all my maintenance, which I think we're going to get into here in a little while, or the lack of the maintenance.
Yeah, if everybody don't know, it's the big red bitch with 13 eagles on it. All right, 1,000 horsepower. Just so everybody knows, 1,000 horsepower. But yeah, it's been different out here with the wintertime months.
Even for us, yes.
Well, like it for us usually we got a lot of precipitation by now, whether
Right.
it's rain or snow. We'll have a lot of precipitation, to where here in Albuquerque it's cold, but you can still ride because the sun's out.
I don't take it out if it's colder than 50 degrees. I'm too old for that shit.
I tried to get El Buffalo to go up to the snow, but he wouldn't do it.
Smart man. Some of us got to have sense.
Yeah, we were going right up on what's it, the Sandia
The
Peak?
Sandia Crest, we're going to ride
Yeah,
up to the top.
yeah.
And I I just had this weird feeling, so me and the wife went ahead and did a pre-ride in the truck the day before, and it was it was snow packed halfway up the mountain. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
texting them. I'm like, I've got to find another place to ride. So we went up to Hemish Springs and the Gilman tunnels and had a good time.
Well, that
That's
was
good.
that was the thing. I was like, all right, I have to go see the snow, so I can say, yeah, look, there's snow in the desert. All right, people, it still gets cold out here. There's snow in the desert.
Yeah.
But we were just up there the weekend before, and I mean it was cold then, but there was no snow. So
But you witnessed it too. You know, you ride 10 miles from the house, it might be 50 here. It's probably 30 up the river road.
all
I
right.
mean, you've seen
Yeah,
it with your own eyes.
I mean, even this summer when we were riding Colorado, we went across the Rockies. It was like 80 degrees in Aspen. Went over Independence Pass, and it drops to 30s
Yes.
in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap. So yeah, when you ride Colorado, you kind of have to pack for everything.
Or turn around and go home.
That's never an option. Just
Colorado's closed.
or just get you a good tour guide like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like if anybody don't know, the guy on my left, that's my New Mexico tour guide, and the guy on the bottom, that's my Colorado tour guide. So
Yeah.
because that place he took us or took me this Saturday, I'm like, all right, we gotta come back because it's almost like a hidden gem. Like if you didn't know that road or was there, you probably would never went to it. You know, with the tunnels and everything. So
Yeah.
I appreciate it, El Buffalo. I'm
Yep.
I'm ready to go back.
We'll go back before you leave. That way you can get your money shots.
Yeah, so I can go crash my drone in another place in New Mexico.
You know, the beginning of the year, El Buffalo, I was up there with a buddy of mine, and we stumbled upon, I believe it's 104, runs somewhere around Albuquerque to Las Vegas north. I believe it was Highway 104.
14.
No, it was 104 because we had just come off the interstate, and I know we just decided to take 66 for a minute, and then we broke off onto 104, and that was some gorgeous country up there.
Well, that's west, right? West of Albuquerque.
It would have run just east of Albuquerque, I believe, because we never made it in.
Were you coming south?
No, we were headed north. We came out of Texas.
Okay.
And we come off the interstate. We seen some little museum, little car museum at a truck stop. And then we went north.
Yeah, there's a lot of small farm roads out there, little 2-lane roads that are pretty spectacular.
I'm going back to that one. That
Yeah.
was a good 3-4 hour ride at 100 miles an hour. It was great. It was a beautiful road, beautiful canyons, no traffic, no houses, no nothing out there.
Well, that's the other thing. We did what's that? Eagle's Nest. That's an Eagle Nest up there. That's uh, that we came from the east in through Eagle's Nest into Taos, and that was an awesome ride right there through the canyon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of great riding, and then like I said, you go south. You got to ride a lot of that southern stuff when you're kind of making your trip here and went through White Sands and Carlsbad Caverns and all that place. That's usually where riders will go during the winter time, is push south.
Yeah.
And the summertime we stay up north. So it's it's pretty unique that way. Some people have to go all the way south to Florida to get out of the cold, but we just got to go. We just got to go south a little bit.
Some of them are way too scared of the cold.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right.
Beats the heat that we were in, though.
Oh my gosh. Hey, this summer, it's brutal, especially on a guy that's used to the cold weather. It's brutal. Everything. It blew my mind how hot it got out here. But it was to me, it was a different hot what I'm used to. It was more like you're in an oven because it's a little drier.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But so my thing is like, what kind of gear do you guys use if you ride in cold weather? Does anybody run heated gear or anything like that? Or is it just chaps and leathers?
Yeah, we have kind of the gamut of depending on it. Lately, I've been wearing the Road Armor flannel from who the hell is it from? Skull Riders. It's that gray flannel, and it's got a liner in it, and that's pretty good for most of the riding season. And then I keep I don't buy a lot of Harley Davidson branded gear, but their heated gear.
Nope.
It's it's worth every penny for that. So that's pretty light and compact. So you can just keep that in there just in case. And that's where we run. If we're running real cold, like
this
we're on a ride and it's low 40s. I wear the Joe Rocket 3. It's like 3 jackets into one, and that I can ride in that thing with heated gear in 30-degree temps and be fine. I don't have all the fancy heated seats or heated grips or any of that, but and then chaps, in the wintertime.
All right, so I have a dirty secret. So Miss Hellbelly ordered her some heated gloves, and she ordered the wrong size, and I'm keeping them because they fit me.
Cheater.
But that's the one place I have trouble. Like anything else, I stay warm. It's my hands. It's always my hands.
Yeah. I run my electric grips.
What?
Yeah. I run my electric grips. I run my electric seat. I have a heated seat.
Hot ass.
So yeah, well, it works. I didn't have to pay for it. It came on the bike. Other than that, blue jeans, chaps, Carhartt jacket.
Yeah, I could ride leathers all day long. It's just the hands that I have trouble.
Yeah. Well, those gloves, I got a pair of, and again, I didn't buy these. A good friend of mine gave them to me. Didn't fit them, but they're the Harley Davidson winter gauntlet gloves. And my hands are sweating when we stop riding.
And that's almost as bad as being too cold.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta put this one up.
Hey, Matt showed up too.
Bryce says heated gear rocks.
Right, Bry's my new sponsor, and he forced me to drink my Dr. Pepper out of this can.
We're talking about.
I don't know why. But
you gotta have your Dr. Pepper in your custom dynamics koozie. So
yeah, Bry forced me to do that.
It's Bry. If it plugs into a wall or a computer, he likes it.
No, my luck, I catch on fire.
Yeah, the other thing I always carry, and it's because we're in the desert, and like you were talking about, it could be hot, and then it can get real cold real quick as you start, going through the mountain canyon roads, and it gets real cold. in the middle of summer. Um, we carry our rain gear, and I carry it for two reasons. One, if I carry it, I know it ain't going to rain, right?
Yeah.
And two, it makes a great inner liner because there's no wind that's getting in there, and if the wind ain't getting in, the cold ain't getting in. So, if it got super bad and super cold, um, even in the middle of summer, we have those to put underneath our vests and whatever else we're wearing. So um, those never come out of our bikes.
Well, the thing is like this area, these states, you do so much elevation changing in one ride. Like 6,000 feet to 1,000 feet or sea level, like you're up and down all over the place. I noticed that, especially with my bike. Like I'm like, man, this thing's running awesome. Then 2 hours later, it's like, why is it running like crap? Oh yeah, we're 6,000 feet in the air. That's why. Like, and that's a drastic elevation change. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I ride all year long, even back home. Um, I even rode with snow on the ground. If I want to ride, I ride. So
We used to.
yeah, like I'm not one of those like, oh, it's riding season's over. No, riding season's never over.
Mine was because I my damn maintenance.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
getting that big red bitch.
Hmm.
I think that's kind of the way I feel. I always hear about and I've worked up in the northern states before, and it's cold as ass up there. So
Yeah.
I get it. And once the snow hits, it ain't gone. It'll stay. So, but you know, we don't. I feel we don't have a riding season. The best time of the riding, I think, is right now.
Yeah,
I mean, the bikes run awesome. They love it, and it's a good time to be out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
that's
know, the dead of summer. It's like you can't wait to get up into the mountains because you're roasting your ass getting there, and then you get to enjoy it. So, we'll ride all year.
I'd like to.
Well, do it. Just do
No.
it.
Wintertime is when I build all my vacation.
Oh,
That's why I can afford to take 4 and 5 and 6 weeks off every summer.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you go ride with crazy hillbillies across the
Yeah.
countryside.
We can go out
Well,
and burn
well,
up.
your southern border is our northern border, and we stay away from there for a reason in the winter
Well, they
because
put a
it's
big
cold as
mountain
ass.
between us for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, to get to you, I either have to cross Raton or I have to cross that other pass down there. And we ain't doing that. Not La Vida, one of them other damn passes.
Yeah, Adam has a great point. Like back home, where it'll stay below freezing for so long, and then you'll have a day that's like 40 degrees, and
Yeah.
you're sweating. You're like, yep, I'm riding. Feels great.
That was me yesterday. We were out here sweating like a slave, and it was 70 degrees.
Like,
And it's going to be that way all week.
I never had that problem as much as like one deployment. I was one winter in Afghanistan where we were in the mountains. It stayed between 10 and 20 below. And when it got to like zero, you're out there in a t-shirt because you're sweating so bad. Like I
Yeah.
never thought I'd be walking around 0 degree weather in a t-shirt. But
Yeah.
you get so used to being cold that I don't know. But that was a bad winter. Anyways, we were told it was a bad winter. It's like at one point it snowed 12 inches in an hour. Like it was snowing so hard with big flakes so you couldn't see like a foot in front of you.
Yeah. That's what we get around here.
Oh, good, you can keep it.
Yeah. Hell no.
Yeah,
I moved here for a reason.
that's why the people, certain people go see that bridge that you got right there.
Mm. Yeah. That's the reason they use that bridge.
Yeah, yeah, that big crack in the ground. But yeah, so don't winterize, and we all ride in the winter when we can. Unlike some people, I mean, he has an excuse. When there's 3 foot on the ground, he thinks he can't ride in the winter, but it's all
Yeah.
right.
It hurts.
But here's my other thing. Is there anything special you do to your bike for cold weather riding versus normal summertime riding?
No, because I don't ride in the cold.
Jeez. All right,
I mean,
people.
our bikes are always on a tender,
Second.
no matter what, and we ride so often, we never have really battery issues in the winter. Um, and I try to check the tire pressure at least every other ride and make sure they're good. Just kind of a routine I do.
Yeah.
But I do that in the summer or the winter.
Bill says he puts his bikes up until April. Dang. We're
And
already rallies are already starting before April.
That's about the time we bring ours back out, about April. But I also use all winter I disassemble my bike. Fix all the things, chafe wires, loose bolts, relock tight, everything. I ride Harley.
I know what you don't do. You don't put brakes on it in the wintertime.
I don't put brakes on it in the winter.
it'll take you all winter just to buff up all them golden eagles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do
Yeah.
one golden eagle a week, get you through winter.
Oh, yeah. So we're in the middle of this trip, and he's like, "Hey, I got a problem." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Look at this." Like, it looked like a shim where the brake pads are supposed to be.
Front and rear.
Yeah, it looked like it was shimmed.
I only had about 900 miles to go to get home. No big deal.
Oh my gosh, it's never a dull moment on our ventures. That was after I screwed up the wiring harness when I installed the handlebars on this handlebars. Because where I rolled it, pulled one of the connectors apart. So
yeah, that was the morning after we had supper done. We had a lot of adventures the next day. We sat at Harley for 5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, what have we done first thing in the morning?
Yeah, no.
Nah. You won't. No. So, but the night before, that's when we met up with you, El Buffalo. We went.
Yep.
That's his legendary night because he gets to brag about something that people don't get to do.
I get a phone call at the motel. Hey, I invited a friend. Do you mind? Well, does it matter if I mind? Because he's showing up anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the night that you passed me, and you still brag about passing me.
Yep. The big red bitch passed hellacious.
Yeah. Now tell everybody how fast I was going when you passed me.
I don't remember. I'm too excited to pass you.
Oh yeah. We will. Yeah. Don't worry. I redeemed myself. Yeah. We were out there.
I got talked into doing this freaking YouTube thing too.
Wow.
Wow.
You're the one that wanted to do the camera guy stuff. So.
And now El Buffalo probably regrets it because he gets Instagram messages constantly. Hey, what do you think of this?
Oh Lord. Yeah. Yeah. So he kept bragging about passing me, and we were heading to Page, Arizona. And he was like, well, it was one of those manly things in a straight stretch. Let's see what you got. So, how many gears did you use?
Dropped to fifth. Never did let off the throttle. I just speed shift. Dropped to fifth. Dropped to fourth. And I was on my way to third when I gave up.
I never shifted. I just grabbed a handful of throttle and ran fourth gear out. So there you go.
Dude, I told him I'd race them a 200-mile route, 200-mile race.
Yeah.
And I'll beat them.
Well, that's what I figured too. We can go all day long. His bike will pass anything but a gas station.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where you guys are going to get me. I get there fast. Gas station.
Buffalo's bikes get better gas mileage on their Sporter than he does.
Yeah.
Probably.
So she could potentially beat him too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why we don't have to worry about how many miles we're going until we pull over. We'll just run till I run out of fuel. We're good for at least 150 before we pull over.
150?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's about what we were running.
Yeah.
And then I would fuel up every other fuel stop when I was with you.
Yep.
Because I run about 230, 240.
Now, there was one section I was getting worried.
Yes.
Oh, was I getting worried?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was babying that thing down the hills and everything else because it was sucking the fumes when we pulled in after that stretch.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, there's a gas station. We should be good. Yeah. I didn't know that was going to be the last stop forever and a day.
Wow.
And we were in the big hills at that point. We were rolling in big hills at that point. I'm like, crap. Here we go. But that's the one thing that's taught me, like with you guys out here, is we need to plan your trips around gas stations. Because you
I
never.
did.
Well, I'm saying for us, we didn't know. We're used to East Coast, like every
Right.
5 miles is a gas station.
Right.
Out here, you'll get in trouble in a hurry if you don't plan your trip with the gas stations.
Yep. But the planning of your gas stops compared to my gas stops or El Buffalo's gas stops is the matter of about 100 miles.
Yeah.
Because we get that extra 100.
Yeah. That's why I always keep a rope in the saddlebag.
But yeah, going back over here looking at this, we ride. Yeah, I do the same thing in the winter. I do all my fluid changes. I'll tear the bike apart. I do everything. I just did the neck bearings. I just did the compensator. I do all of that stuff in the wintertime. That's what I use winter for, is to tighten the bike back up for summer.
Yeah, so if nobody's seen, follow him. He had a little problem with his compensator.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. So you want to explain what you found with the compensator that you were working on?
on mine?
Yeah, on yours. Not mine. Mine will just blow apart. So.
Well, mine didn't come apart, but it wore a groove all the way around on the inside part of it. And then the 3 little fingers that stick up, they were all flat spotted. Probably about a 1/16 of an inch of them were missing, worn out. So, yeah, it was old Slappy there for a little while.
How long was that making noise for?
Was that?
How long was that making noise for?
Since I bought the bike. I just never realized it. It never went out completely. It just got constantly worse with the noise, and I got tired of it finally.
Yeah, he's lucky that he was having that problem, because he could have found it even more catastrophic. He found a thing that could have been catastrophic to him if he
magnet falling out of the rotor.
Yeah.
Which I cheaped out again, and don't y'all all do this, but I just JB welded it back in place.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, that's why race bikes don't run the rotor. That's why they don't have it. There's no there's no charging system on a race bike because the magnets come apart when you.
Right.
So you're lucky that it stuck and it didn't actually do anything in there.
I'm surprised it made it to 46,000 miles. Most of them go out about 25, 27.
Well, it's because all them damn eagles and that lighthouse you got on the front and everything else. like this dude has a lighthouse. Like he's behind both of us, and people are flashing their lights at me. I'm like, dude, you don't even want me to add mine to what he's doing already. All right.
Yeah.
There's like a 20-foot shadow in front of me from what he was doing.
And that's all just a cheap, and that ain't even a complete headlight. That's only the bulb. It's one of them cheap Amazon bulbs for like $80, and you shove it in your housing.
I don't know. Like everybody was flashing their lights at me. I'm like,
it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
It lit up the desert.
Yeah. Yeah, because, we're idiots and we ride at nighttime. So.
It was good. It was fun.
What was that? Oh, that's when you made a mistake on time. And you're like, oh, gotta go. And you took off flying because you didn't realize we were changing time zones again.
Arizona does not participate in time change.
Yeah.
So I hauled ass for an hour to be an hour early.
Yeah, he just said, "F you guys, I'm out of here."
It was fun. But
That was Miss Hellbelly's first time in the
yeah,
dark, if I remember right. So she's
yep.
back there like, oh, wide-eyed.
Yeah, it was a little nerve wracking there for a little while. But for you guys,
For her.
So that was her longest ride to date at that point, right?
Yeah, that was the Zion Grand Canyon trip that he did halfway, and then we found out that my primary was leaking.
yeah,
So that well, you went home that next day when I went to Zion to get that fixed, and what it was
yeah,
is they actually stripped the drain plug. So
yeah, yeah. I
oh,
went home the next morning. That's when I tried to cross the desert and forgot to hit my last fuel stop
yeah,
with 106 miles between fuel stops.
uh,
That was a miserable day.
yeah. What we do? What was that day? Oh, that's the day we went through the Devil's Asshole in Vegas.
Yes.
Oh Lord,
Yeah.
I don't recommend that trip. Not that time of the year. But all right, El Buffalo, what's your words of wisdom for anybody coming east to come out here and ride?
Where's the isms for what? I lost you there.
For anybody that's coming from out east to come out here to ride.
Um, Drink lots of water.
Yes.
It gets hot, and like you said, plan your gas stops if you're going cross country and you cross into New Mexico, especially if you go through like the I-10 down south. You will not find a gas station for hundreds of miles out there, which is, it's basically a semi route up there. But you take the interstate, you know, you still have to plan those, and plan for any type of weather because it changes constantly out here in the desert.
Uh, that was the thing. We came from San Antonio, so we went from the south, what you're talking about, into Roswell, and like, yeah, I bet we drove for like 2 hours, no gas stops,
Yep.
nothing. So I was like, oh crap, we're in something different here.
Yeah. Josh just did Shade Tree just dropped a video yesterday when he rode home from California. That's one of the big things that he mentioned. You ride at night, it's 25 degrees. You ride in the day, it's 100. And then you turn around and it's 60, 70, 80 miles between fuel stops. If you're lucky,
Yeah,
you know.
and that's the same way in like Arizona when we're riding Arizona on 66 and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these towns or places, there's a bunch of stuff shut down. That that fuel station's not there anymore.
Right.
So for me, I was short stopping just to make sure that
Yeah.
I was going to be fine. That's why I love or have. What's this? That's why I love and have reserve fuel in bottles that straps on the sissy bars. Well, here's the problem. I carry for 3 when I ride, and it's a heavy bitch.
Yep.
Um, I don't know. I don't recommend. I don't recommend that. What we did.
I carried a fuel bottle for Miss Buffalo's bike in the past when we know we're going to take a long trip, and I've never needed it, so I stopped putting it on the bike, just a small little gas container,
Yeah.
but if I'd probably use it more than likely for somebody I saw stranded on the road than I would for us because she can go about 160 miles comfortably before we need to fuel up, and I'm right about a half a tank at that point. So and she doesn't have, it's a Sportster, so it doesn't have a fuel gauge. So
Right.
we kind of track it with her miles, and I know when I'm getting close to half a tank, you know, we're going to need it. So, and even if she ran out of fuel at that point, I still have half a tank.
Right.
So I
Like
figured,
get
well,
the hose.
I'll just siphon it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I understand with the fuel bottle, but I might be crazy. I'm just like, I don't really want to strap a container of gasoline to my bike because I am crazy and I probably would do something stupid. And know my luck, I'd catch on fire because it was on my bike. So
Okay, so what's the difference between the 6 gallons between your legs and the 1 gallon behind your back?
that 1 gallon can fly off and hit me in the head and burn me alive.
And 6 gallons can come off and hit you in the head and burn you alive.
Woo wee! All right, see, people. Now you know why he just stays in the chat room and
That's
says it's hey.
exactly right.
All right.
Better seen than heard, right?
Oh Lord.
Yeah. That actually sounds like a comment he would have just posted, right?
Yep, it does. Yeah, you can always guarantee he's going to say something like that.
Oh yeah, I'm full of stupid shit. I've got more thoughts in my head than a man should.
The funny one was the love rock. He tried to get Miss Hellbelly with the love rock.
Oh, you haven't posted any of that, have you? You're still way behind on that stuff.
Yeah, I know because we got all kinds of stuff going on. So
Get on it.
all right, fine then. Get on it.
Yeah. You got the footage. All you got to do is hurry up, knock one out, and be done.
But
See, and I've pretty much ran out of footage, so I got, you know, what I put out is, you know, what I rode a week or 2 weeks ago. I don't have anything banked. I wish I did, but
that's why
I try to put out all that Sturgis stuff out while it was still kind of, you know, hitting.
Yeah.
People were still looking, but it's getting tough. And then, you know, we're not riding as much now because, you know, life happens. So
Yep.
Right.
so that's why I put, you know, I had a bunch of B-roll footage that I was able to do that little kind of finding Bigfoot deal with. So I was just like, well, I'll do something with it, you know, and put it together, and it came out all right. But it gave me at least something to put out there, and
Yeah.
people can. But it's I got lots of little clips like everybody has of some B-roll footage. So
Well,
some of that'll keep coming out, I think, in bits and pieces.
that's why when I say, "Hey, let's go ride," you're like, "Yeah, let's go ride."
Yeah, and I'm like taking 5 minutes, putting all my damn cameras on, and you're sitting there and like, I ain't filming nothing. I'm like, well, I know why, because you got a bank.
Yeah, but then he puts me behind the camera, so I'm like making all kinds of weird stuff as we're riding along.
Wishing you would have put your cameras on.
No, because I know I got to edit it. I got like all this other stuff to edit.
That's true. Yeah.
Now Miss Hello gets mad. She's like, "You need to film this." I'm like, it's just more footage to edit. Like, it's a lot of work.
Right.
Yeah. Matt Mills is talking. He's got a V rod too. Yeah, I think he's got all of us beat on the short mileage with that 3-gallon tank they got underneath the seat.
Yeah, he just start getting nervous at 90 miles.
Yeah.
I get comfortable at 90 miles, not nervous.
But that bike's badass. I got to see it. Yeah, I got to see it when we went to the Texas Moto meetup. That it's badass. I like it. Sounds good. Let's see what we got. Rob. Before I decided I wanted horsepower more than anything else, I could get between 104 and 106 miles, depending on how heavy handles being. After dyno tune, 130 miles is normal, and tires are more often. Yes. Welcome to the dark side of performance.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about that the other day about, you know, the pluses and minuses of having a super horsepower bike, and you know,
Mhm.
it there's a price to pay in fuel and in parts.
Maintenance.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
maintenance.
maintenance is a big thing. Everybody's like, "Oh, your bike's always breaking and everything else," but they gotta realize we're pushing everything to the limits.
Yeah.
You know, if I back everything back off, like we did with Miss Hellsbelly's bike, no problems with hers. What we did to hers, a little bit of horsepower, but it's not to the point that it's causing any problems. I'm just a dumbass, and I like to push everything to the limit. So it, that's a that's why when people talk to me, they want to do what I did. I warn them about that dark side. All right, you know, and the big thing is how much maintenance I do on my bike. Like you're always having to go over that bike every time you ride, before you leave, when you come back. You're always having to go over that bike, and it still doesn't guarantee something's not going to happen to you.
Right.
Um,
And I think the other thing too is how you ride, and not. I'm not talking about the aggressive side of it, but you guys lay some miles down.
right,
You know, I mean, you're not going to take a top fuel dragster and take a 200-mile trip on it, right? I mean, it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same deal. So that you know, the horsepower is there and it's great. Um, you know, and there's people out there that's like, this is my long distance cruising bike and it's all stock, and then here's my, I'm gonna, you know, lay some rubber down and have a good time.
right.
Um, you know, so it's to each his own. But you know, like you heard of the Hokey Hay guys?
Yeah,
Those are the guys that ride like super long distance, crazy miles, and they all run stock bikes, stock pipes, stock everything because they can get the distance and the fuel mileage. You
And
know,
that's where I run.
yeah,
yeah. I want to do that with my bike just to see how it stacks. Because what you're talking about, yeah, I watch it, and they keep it plain Jane. They're not trying to push these miles. And I'm like, let's go out there with this dumbass bike that's been built and see if I can do the same thing. I mean, with what we've been doing, that's kind of what happened. You know, like that one trip, 9,500 miles, or yeah, I forget, between 95 and 10,000 miles. That's hard. That's hard on a bike like that. Um, but the one thing we did not have problems with was heat issues with that motor because we did build it correctly. Yes, it ran hot as hell, but it wasn't overheating. I wasn't burning it down. So, but then what you're talking about, riding style, when you've rode these built motors for years and years and years, you kind of understand that when sometimes you might have to ride kind of stupid just to keep from burning your engine apart or burn your motor down. You might have to do some lane splitting. You might have to hit, you might have to hit the apron and pass some people just so you're not sitting there just letting it burn down.
Yeah.
And
But
actually, the worst part's right outside of Albuquerque on 40, where they're doing the bridge stuff. Have you been that way, El Buffalo, going west on
well, what side of Albuquerque?
the west side of Albuquerque? Like you,
Oh yeah, I mean you get one car pulled over to the side, it'll shut that whole
well,
freaking
they're
3 lane highway down.
they're redoing the bridges,
Yeah.
and we were coming back, and I bet you I pissed off at least 3 miles of people because I got to the point like screw this. I rode the freaking berm and just squeezed right in there and kept on going. But the problem was I was running super hot and I wasn't going to sit there. So,
yeah.
Yep.
but we don't mean to do it as an asshole move. At least most of us don't. There's a there's a reason behind the madness.
Some of us don't.
Except
Some
here,
of us need to be that way.
I will say I lane split a lot in Albuquerque just because I do not want to be in between a bunch of these cars because they drive like idiots out here.
Yep. We stay as far away as city driving as we possibly can. You know, fortunately for us, we live on the kind of the outskirts, so if I got quick access to many miles of two-lane highway, but to drive through town, stoplight to stoplight,
Right.
it's just not. There's too many idiots out there,
Yeah, your
and that's
side.
not the kind of riding I like anyway. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, your side of town wasn't bad. When I went over there, met you guys and rode and everything, I'm like,
yeah,
oh, this it's not bad. And I get back over here, and I'm like, I want to go back across town.
yeah.
Like over here, it's like death race. So
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find this damn road. I know El Buffalo wants to do it.
is it one you've been trying to take me on? I don't go.
Let's see.
Never heard of 104, so it's probably just a small state road or something.
So it comes out of
What?
Tucumcari,
Okay,
right at the interstate, and it runs to the west
comes
out to,
out by Las Vegas, right?
and it's 104. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I've been on that. We've been on that road.
gorgeous roads down there.
Yeah, yeah. Comes out by Las Vegas, New Mexico, just right a little
Yep,
bit before it. Yeah,
yep.
yeah. I didn't know the name of the road. It's just yeah,
You get the chance to run that one
yeah.
again. I know I'm going back in the summertime. I'm going to do it again. So,
Well, come pick me up.
oh, you know I will.
Oh, come on, guys. Jeez, it'll be a while before I can come back and ride. Don't have all the fun.
I plan on spending a lot of time down New Mexico, Texas. I want to run down and meet up with Setzer Pendants and go see Salty and Sprinkles for a little bit.
Oh, now you're going to come out of Colorado and ride. I had to come to you, and now you're going to come out of
I'm
Colorado and ride.
riding Colorado. Colorado is getting boring.
Uh,
You know.
when you ride it all the time, yeah. I
Well,
understand.
yeah, it is. Yeah. So, yeah, I plan on spending a lot of time down that way this year. Next year. This year's over with for me.
I laugh in Texas because they're like, yeah, I went and ran hill country. I'm like, where's hill country? Oh, where you guys came from? I'm like, that's just a little bump in the road, man. Come on.
Yeah.
That's not hills.
There's places El Buffalo could ride. I mean, you guys could run out there. The Painted Canyons, just east of you guys, out in Texas. If you've never been, that's beautiful out there.
We
It
just
Yep,
take
you
you a
got
few
that. You got is it Big Bend
I
that
believe.
way down there?
Yeah, it's right around in that area. Oh, wrong mouse. Sorry, guys. I got like 4 freaking computers set up in here.
Oh, Mister, I'm not technology and do stuff. I got four.
They're all
users.
1985s. You leave me the hell alone.
But
Caprock Canyons, outside of Silverton, Texas.
where's that at? I know we rode all kinds of Texas this year.
You weren't far when you were down around Clovis in that area, down around Roswell. You weren't far from it.
Okay. What's that? What's that national forest down there outside of White Sands? Was it? There's a town. It's like Cloud something.
Cloudcroft.
Yeah, we went to Cloudcroft and then we dropped over, went through this national forest, rode through
There's
there,
tons of them out there.
Yeah.
and it brought us over near the casino.
Would you be still?
Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. Lincoln National Forest. Yeah. That was a.
Out if you know the answer, Crystal.
Dude, that's everybody just witnessed a miracle. She remembered something I didn't remember, so everybody witnessed a miracle.
Either that or she Googled it really fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh Lord. Yeah. Yeah. We're Lincoln. What's that? Rose? What's a Rosa?
Santa Rosa,
No, it's where the ski resort.
Ruidoso.
Redoso, yeah, down where the ski resort's at.
Yep.
That's all. That's nice riding down in there.
Yeah, there's awesome riding down there. It's south of Albuquerque, but it's up high in the mountains, so it's not a really good place to ride in the wintertime. Uh, but they usually have a pretty good uh, it's a Golden Aspen rally up there,
Yeah.
and it's a good ride rally to go to as well. Uh, but yeah, there's great riding up there. Some cool tunnels up there as well.
All right, so this goes on to something else. We Ride West Virginia wants to know if we have any winter projects.
Yes.
Well,
I answered the question.
Lord. What are the winter projects? Disruption?
It's going to take me probably a month to unbolt all the Gold Eagles. I think next year I'm going without the Gold Eagles.
Well, you're going to lose all your horsepower.
Well, that's okay. I'll pick it up in weight savings.
Weight savings.
So.
But we won't have our jokes if you take all the Gold Eagles off.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna have his wings clipped.
Pretty much.
No, I don't have any plans. I got to get tires put on the bike. I got to redo the brakes again since the last trip we had.
I was going to say, how's the brakes coming along?
I've got the compensator done. I've got a lot of stuff done already. Faster than I thought I was going to get it. So, yes, Becca, it's a puppy. Here, you want to see Puppy? She's 8 weeks old.
Oh, man, my views just went way up now.
Oh, yeah.
We got puppies on here.
There's your puppy. Her name's Indy. She's a little Chowini. My daughter's dog. So.
What about you, elbuffallo? Anything on the winter list that you're going to do?
Projects for the bike, not so much, but for the channel, I'm probably going to do I just did an install video. You saw that?
Yeah. So, yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about the best install video ever.
Yeah. But so I've checked that off my list of things I needed to do. I do want to do probably a video on GoPro settings, on the actual settings on my GoPro, what I use.
Uh-huh.
I get a lot of people asking, how you get those photos. Because a lot of times you get a lot of, when you're riding the side views, you get a lot of bleeding over and kind of blurry and whatnot. But you can adjust some of your settings on your GoPro and get a little bit better quality, I should say. So I'm probably going to do some sort of video on that. And maybe if I'm desperate, I'll do a 360 editing.
Yeah, please do that.
One. Those are, there's it really isn't that bad, and I could probably explain it so that everybody understands it, because I'm by far not super technical when it comes to this stuff either. So, I'll probably put together a couple of those videos, and
good.
Hopefully it helps them out. And I think that'll help, even some of the smaller channels like we're talking about is, give them that, I had to learn the hard way. Most people get the GoPro, slap it on and go, and don't realize that you can adjust it. You can set the settings, you can set the shutter speed and all that stuff that, works better for the type of footage we're using. It may work good for just you're sitting there chit-chatting or whatever, but, you're going 80 miles down the road and you want to, not catch warp speed on the side, you can adjust that. So those are a couple short-term projects I have for the channel anyway. So
yeah, that I knew about a lot of this stuff, but then exposures and ND filters, I really got to learn that with the drone side, because it shows up a lot more with a drone than it did with the GoPros. So I had to go a little more into depth learning all that stuff.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference in the editing process when you're trying to do coloring and everything else. You get a lot better color out of it. Which that's another whole can of worms right there, coloring during editing. So
You know, I turned mine on. I think I messaged elbuffallo, asked him what settings I should run for YouTube. And that's about all I've ever done with that GoPro I've got. I've run the 8. I don't mess with anything else. That's probably why my footage all looks the same every time. So,
well, the little advice to you: ND filters, the little snap-on ND filters that go in
yeah,
front,
yeah,
will make a huge difference in just because it's like sunglasses for your camera.
right.
So you don't like, especially GoPros have a really bad tendency when it's trying to fade between light, like sunlight, and
Mm-hmm.
dark places, and it helps keep that constant color or constant look if you run the ND filter on it.
Before I do any of that, I've got to do something about my audio. I mean, y'all all know I don't wear a helmet, so everything I capture is wind noise unless I'm using my phone.
Brode actually makes a head mic without having to do the helmet.
Right.
That has all that built into where you can talk, and I've seen people use it, and it's clear as day. They're not
Yeah.
running with helmets or anything.
Yeah.
Just a little advice. That's another can of worms. There's all kinds of stuff.
And that's it. And you know me. I'm a cheap ass. I don't like to buy anything I don't have to buy. That's good enough. I'll line it all up myself.
I don't even need
Yeah.
brakes.
They only slow you down. Ain't nobody got time for that shit.
Oh my gosh.
I do need to take about a 30-second interruption here because I'm out of alcohol.
Oh my gosh.
I'll be right.
All right. I'm muting him just in case he decided to do something embarrassing. I don't want that to happen. But yeah,
I got, like I said, that's probably the two, non-riding stuff. Then I'll just, as I ride, we'll put some more stuff out. But as far as the bikes go, they're pretty much where we want them. As far as bolt-ons, you know, I'll do a cam and I'll do rims when I got to do my forks. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that kind of stuff.
Yeah, mine's more towards just learning more about filming and editing and stuff like that.
All right. Where are
Well, it sounds like you got lots of footage in the bank that it'll keep you busy too.
But the problem is I've already shot that. That's what is kind of aggravating because it's stuff I've already shot. I've learned, so I go back and edit it. And I'm like, oh, I should have done this or I should have done that.
Yeah.
So, but it allows you to go back and learn and realize the mistakes you made and how much you've learned over a year.
Yeah, it's funny. I go back and I'll look at some of the early videos that I did to the recent videos, and the difference between them and just picture quality alone really is so much better.
Oh my gosh! Hey, that's some nice fireball you got there.
we don't advertise. We turn the label sideways. I was drinking Pendleton earlier. Yeah, that shit gets expensive.
Oh, what we got?
Like 1 or 2 of those a night.
Yeah, Cheyenne, that was the most informative install video. Like, it should win the award of the best install video of the year.
Yes, he does.
I mean,
And you know me, short and simple. I don't like long emails. I don't like long texts. I don't like
or conversations.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Man, a few words.
Yeah, that That install video is like one of our conversations. Straight to the point. We're done. Oh man, let's see. Freaking chat room is. Becca. Let's see. Beginner riding tips and passenger riding tips would be great too. Um, I'll give you my beginning riding tips, and the guy up in the top left has heard this. Ride the motherfucker.
I think that, yeah, I know who said that. Beginner riding tips. Be a passenger first.
Yeah,
Learn to be a passenger.
that's the key. Learn to be a good
Yes.
passenger.
Yep. And it gets easy from there.
So
Yeah.
here's my
Be a
question.
sack of potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't move.
Here's my question. Do people that learn to ride become worse passengers?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Just because they've had that control,
Hmm.
and now they know exactly what they're looking at, and
Yep.
so they're you may downshift differently, or you may start pushing into that corner differently, and they're like, why don't you turn in or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah.
More critical maybe is a better way to put it. I don't know if it makes them
And the reason,
a worse passenger, but a critical passenger, I think.
all right, and the reason I asked that question is because I've had this conversation with Miss Hellbelly. She was a great passenger. She learned to ride. She's become really good at riding. But now when she gets back on the bike, there are certain times that, like, especially what you talk about cornering and stuff, that she's trying to control or compensate
Right.
instead of just sitting there.
So what I've always taught my passenger was, if we're going to make a bend to the left, just look over my left shoulder. Don't lean, just look over my left shoulder. Turn your head that side. If I'm going to go to the right, you see a bend in the road, look over my right shoulder. That's it. You don't have to help me lean. Matter of fact, if you help me lean, you're just making me more tired.
Yep.
So
That's why I say that, because like I said, I've noticed the difference now
Yep.
since she's learned to ride and when she gets on the back with me. It's not horrible, but you can, like what you're talking about, Buffalo. You can tell that she's like, she sees it coming and she's already like doing like she would be controlling.
right.
So I have to watch that. Now Hellion, he's become a great passenger. Like he's. I mean, Miss Hellbelly rode him. That tells you how of a good passenger he's become.
Right.
And she's a newer rider, and she had no problems with him riding on the back. So, because there's also an art in being a passenger,
But it also carries over when you climb onto your own bike.
right.
Yeah. When you go out to do it yourself, you start looking through the corners. You're going to be moving your head physically instead of your eyes. This is all stuff that we went through with Miss Hellbelly on that first trip we took.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do. Like, if you do have a wife or girlfriend or somebody that's starting to ride, I do recommend the comms, but make the rule to where they don't talk. The comms is more of a teaching tool because I do have to credit the comms with her being able to progress like she has because we're able to teach in the moment as she's riding versus having to go back and think about the situation or look at a video. Because we ran into this in the canyon. Me and you was working with her on her way she was taking her turns.
Yes.
Disruption.
Yeah, on the way home. Yep.
Right. So we were able to. So like he gave her great advice, and as we were riding, I was in her ear,
Mm-hmm.
not like constantly talking, but in her ear, like talking about the points. Here's your entrance, here's your exit, and what it was is she was following disruption and trying to mirror him, and then I was behind her coaching her through this stuff.
Yeah.
And by the time we got done, she was carving those turns
Yep.
really well.
But that was also 50 miles of nothing but canyon river roads. Yeah.
Great practice.
There is no straight spot.
No.
It's left or right.
But it was great too because it was
Yes.
the length of the turns and the sharpness of the turns were so sporadic.
Yep.
So you wasn't doing the same thing over and over. You're having to work on what we were trying to teach her. But
And with the canyon walls, you can't see around your corners. So
right.
you have to keep your eyes moving as you make those long bends.
And she did a great job.
She did. She did really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's what I credit to her progressing this way she has this year. And then, we ride with Miss Elbuffallo. She can ride too. I love it.
Yeah, we use the comms as well. It just there was a time where we didn't take them out one time, and it was just awful. Yeah, it was like, and we don't really have conversations, so we don't get that whole thing going. It's usually just, if I see something ahead and I see a car looking kind of sketchy sitting there in the left turn hand lane or whatever, and I'm like, watch that car. And she does the same to me. She'll be like, there's a pothole coming up or whatever, and just kind of stuff like that. Or if we decide to change our route, we planned ahead. We're going to go up this way and go that way. We get a wild hair and change our mind. We'd be like, let's just take a right.
But that comes to calm etiquette. Like, for me, I guess this comes back into the military days. We were on comms, but you wasn't having conversations. It was there
Right.
as a tool, like for information. Like you didn't sit there and have a conversation. And that's kind of how we do it. Like you guys, it's not, we don't really sit there and have a conversation about stuff. It's more like just road condition, or if we're going to change the route, or what would be the best way through somewhere.
Yeah.
Most of the
Yeah,
time,
and every once in a while we'll see something crazy or stupid, and we're like, "Did you see that?" And, I mean, but it's not. You hear a lot of people say like, "Oh, I don't want to have comms because I don't want to hear this constant conversation," and we don't at all. And that's just, again, probably just our personalities as well.
Yeah.
We we've been together so long, we can just look at each other. We know exactly what the hell we're got. Whole conversation, just making faces at each other. So not a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
well,
Taco Bell dog.
there is a video we have out there that is if me and her have a conversation. That's when she was a passenger, and we're doing. So you heard a crazy conversation. It's mostly her like, "Ooh, yeah, look at that." I can't hear you.
I like the one.
MF'er.
I like the one where she's filming, and you're like, "Why are you filming?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Why are you filming?
Yeah, I had two cameras on us, and then she decides to pick up her phone and start filming on that one too. I'm like, "Why are you filming?"
Exactly. And yes, Miss Buffalo, you're right. Take a class. I actually did a beginner's class in the 80s. I don't know if they still offer it. There's an intermediate course you could do, or a class you could do. There was an advanced rider that I did all of this in the late 80s, early 90s. And after the advanced, I actually borrowed my mom's Goldwing trike and did a trike class on a Goldwing. And they actually work. Even the intermediate and the advanced classes work. So classes.
They still offer.
I recommend that to anybody. I think it should be offered to every new rider that buys a new bike. I mean, it should be just automatic. But I've told this story before, but when before we bought Mrs. Buffalo her bike, we had no intentions of buying a bike because I wanted to put her through the class, thinking it would make her a better rider or a passenger.
Mm-hmm.
If she understood all the stuff that's going on with me, she would
Sure.
better understand and understand it. Um, that backfired. The second she got on a bike and started going around the course, I'm sitting there. I'm sitting on the ground watching all these people go through the class, and she drives by with this big old huge smile on her face, and I'm like, I already knew. Like I said, we
Yeah.
we don't have to have the conversation. I could just tell by that face, and I'm like,
Yep.
all right. So I pulled my phone up, and by the time we left there, I found her that bike, and I'm like, what do you think about this? She's like, yeah. So that was her motivation. She passed her class, and a couple days right after that, we went and bought that bike. You know, I think that's the other thing that's important is we saw a lot of people in those classes that were taking the class and didn't have a bike or had no intentions of buying a bike anytime soon. I'm like, you're going to lose all that knowledge.
Yeah.
So we went a few days before we had her in the parking lot with that bike going over what she learned.
Right.
And you know everybody should do it, even passengers. It may backfire on you, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I
No.
mean, I like us riding together like that,
Yeah.
and you know, um, she won't ever be a passenger on my bike on on purpose. Anyway, she's
And
like, hell no, I got my own bike.
mine after she didn't take the course, but I bought her a bike. She jumped on. We put it around town for a year or two. Now she won't even climb on the back of mine. She just absolutely refuses to even ride anymore. She doesn't enjoy it. So, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, mine's got a motorcycle addiction now, so
Well, yeah, yeah.
I'm not complaining though, because I'm like,
It's easy.
I'm like elbuffallo. It is a great thing to do with your wife.
It
Like
is.
it you get out there and you ride, you spend time. It's kind of like you get to have your little own time, but you're doing it together because you're both riding.
Yep.
But I don't. I have fun. Like when I watch her, like I'm riding, I'll say it. Like I'm super proud of her out there doing it. So, but
Process, you don't have to put it away. Just leave it out. Just keep riding.
so that goes on. We're talking about the class and stuff. Overseas, they have limits. Like you have to when you do it, you start on this size bike, and you have to go through a course, and you have to get so much experience, and then you have to get before you have to get so much experience before you can step up to the next size,
Yes.
and it keeps working. Now, do you think that they should do that here in the United States?
Yes. I watched that one girl over in the UK, Sun Bleached. She actually has a channel, and she talks about the process. I think that we should do it that way here.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that too. I used not to until Miss Hellbelly took her class, and some of the people in that, I'm like, dude, they're going to either kill themselves or they're going to kill somebody else because they had an attitude. They already got their bike and they like rode around a little bit, so they went to
Yeah.
the class with this, I already know I can already ride attitude. And they weren't really paying attention to what was going on. You could tell. You can always tell those people,
Right.
and those are the people I worry about. I was like, because the whole point of going to that class, even me as an experienced rider, I'm going to pay attention because I'm going to always come out with something. But I guess that's the experience of knowing you never can learn enough, and
Right.
somebody thinking they starting to trying to be cool going through the class. And I don't know. I'm a big believer in the tier system. I think it would help out the motorcycle community a lot if they did that
Right.
because it would cut down on a lot of accidents. Because as we've seen with our travels with some of these rallies, people buy the bikes just to ride the rally, and they don't have experience.
Yeah.
So they go out and they wreck, and when they wreck, they end up hurting somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not the person that's got experience; it's the person that doesn't have experience, and probably shouldn't be on that size of a bike or that bike at all.
Sure. And that's why I think we should have that process. Yeah, it sucks.
I think it should be at minimum the class should be mandatory, and it's not mandatory. Um, most people, excuse me, most people take it because they could take the driving tests within that same group on
Right.
those same bikes that they learned on. But um, it's not mandatory. You go take the test, then go to MBD and go take the test, and if you pass it, you're good to go. So I think at the minimum it should be required to have that class. So
As long as it doesn't turn out like trucking did. I went to school for 40 hours. Look at me, Mom. I'm a truck driver.
Right.
First, I couldn't spell it. Now I are one. Yeah. And the price has gone. I mean, especially if you take Harley's price. If you go through one of their courses, when I did it, of course, it was in the 80s and it was still a lot of money, but $175, you were done. And in the advanced courses, they got a little more expensive as you went through. But to be able to go out, you don't even have to take the course, get your license, and then go buy a leader bike, 212, 220 mile an hour bike. No. I think they should be limited to CCs.
Yeah, I think there should be a tier system. Like you can,
As you progress,
Right.
your bike progresses.
and
Sure.
you got to test out of that tier before you're allowed to go to the next one.
Yeah. I think we should. I think we should follow the UK on that.
All right, Dana. It's the Paige Waterhouse, not Crystal's cousin. All right, just so everybody knows.
What?
They have this. It's actually a pretty cool thing. They have a bed and breakfast, and it's along the route that is one of the best routes to ride in West Virginia. And it's a historical house that they bought, and they use as a bed and breakfast. Cool ass place to be. So the Paige Waterhouse is their bed and breakfast. So if you're in West Virginia, check it out. Go stay with them. Awesome place. So there you go, Dan.
Angry. I see angry.
tell them Hal sent you.
Yeah.
It's always good when Angry Boomer shows up on your stuff.
He's lying. Look, there you go. Yeah.
But I mean, going back to classes, even you, Hills, and El Buffalo, you start driving intermediate classes, you start driving advanced classes. They teach you some stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when I took that trike class, and I had to put that Goldwing trike up on two wheels and hold it for so long, it's a lot of work. I mean, but it teaches you to show you what that bike will actually do.
Yeah.
I retook it when we put the wife in the class. I told the guy, I was like, I'll pay for it, I'll do it. I don't need the test, I don't need that. I just go through the course again, and it was worth it to me. I mean, I took it back in the '90s when I first got my bike and got my validation, and then I stopped riding for a long time as and the kids grew up, and it was like, okay, time to get another bike again. And I chose. I'm like, what? It ain't gonna hurt. I don't have to be all macho and be like, oh, I know
It
how.
never hurts.
Nope.
Yeah, I was getting ready to tell the story. Black Belt Bagger's done it too. I rode for a long time, and then when I went in the military, you had to take the motorcycle safety course to be able to ride on base.
Yes.
So I've been riding a long time, and then I took the course, and I learned that I didn't know shit. Like I was doing so much stuff wrong, and it explained the problems I was having as a rider.
Yeah.
Once I went through that course, and then that led into like more advanced courses and stuff like that. I recommend taking advanced courses, and then the one course that I took, it was actually a track course. You went out on a track, like track riding.
Mhm.
That one really put me over the top because it's more about your bike, learning your bike, setting your bike up, control. And the reason you do it on a track is because it's a controlled environment that's good to do it. And I have to say, that's when I really learned how to ride a motorcycle, was taking that course. So
Right.
that's why now, when I'm working with Miss Hellbelly and I'm trying to explain it to her, I'm like, we just need to go take these classes. Because I told her,
Yeah.
like she talked about it, like she would do more classes, and I said I'd do it again because I probably started doing a bad habit, or they're always updating information, so you can always learn something. So I recommend taking. Don't just stop at the beginner course. Go take some upper level courses and do
Yeah.
it.
Swallow your pride. I rode for years. I spent 3 months in Mexico on a freaking one of the first night trains they started back in the 80s, late 80s. I spent 3 months in Mexico. Came back to the U.S., thought I knew it all, and went through a beginner course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Knuckles here.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's. Would you rather swallow your pride, or would you rather look like an idiot with your freaking bike mangled up on the side of the road?
You can swallow pride. You can swallow the tree you're going to hit, the gravel you're going to swallow. Whatever you want to swallow is up to you.
The
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah, I got a
You know, I
feeling.
think I think that's one of the things that make probably women riders a lot better. Just like I think a lot of times, even shooting. You know, we like to shoot rifles. We like to hunt. It's the other thing we like to do. Um, but there's no macho. There's no
No.
any of that testosterone bullshit. They're like,
Nope.
I want to learn right, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to follow directions. And we're, as guys, you know, we think we know it all,
Right.
and we're like,
And we do. A lot
you
of
know,
people do.
we get a gun, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna show them, and I'm gonna put it up there, and I'm gonna hit the target, and I'm off. And you sit there, and you're telling your significant other, okay, squeeze the trigger, breathe out slow, and
Right.
they'll do it to a T and freaking nail the target every freaking time.
Yep.
And you know, so
Yeah.
I think they're a lot of times uh, better riders and safer riders. You know, because we're just crazy. That's why they live longer than us, right?
Well, yeah. I've never done anything stupid in my life.
No.
There's that ego thing.
You rode with
Yeah.
me. That's pretty stupid right there. So
That was interesting. Yeah.
you met some people off the internet and decided going right halfway around the country. And
Sure. I told you I'd be there. I was there. And then look what you introduced me to.
yeah,
You know?
that guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, you're next door neighbors. Why not? So
I wouldn't change it. We're only, what? If I ride hard, I can probably be to his house in 5 hours.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what we hung out, we broke some bread together, and that's all it took. I mean,
And
that's what's really cool about you know
yeah.
the biker community
Yeah.
in general. I mean, you weren't even a vlogger at that point. You know,
And you didn't.
I don't think you were even on YouTube
Yeah.
at that point. You know what I mean? So it wasn't even that put us together. It was the fact that we rode,
Yeah, this
and
guy right here.
that's
We,
it.
we shared a damn good steak, though. I don't know if y'all know the name of that steakhouse that we ate at, but
El Dorado.
Monte Carlo.
Oh, it's Monte Carlo. Wow. I know
yeah,
it's one of them Cadillac names.
that was ridiculous. The price was ridiculous, but the steak was just as good.
Yeah, Monte Carlo.
Mm-hmm.
I love the vibe in there. That's why I like going there. The little speakeasy style vibe
Yeah,
that
it's
they
all
have.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I haven't even seen your bike. You didn't have your bike that night. It was raining. We were, and that's the only time we've ever met in person was that 2 hours we spent eating.
Yep.
And
But-
we've been friends ever since. You know, like you said, we broke bread. That's good enough for me.
You two are welcome. Just to let you know, you're welcome.
Look at him trying to take credit for shit.
Basically, I'm going the wrong way. I was going to lean towards you. Everything's opposite.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, with the journey we took, it brought us to New Mexico, which we never thought we'd be in New Mexico, and
Exactly.
met both of these guys. Now I do have to say, people need to come to New Mexico and ride because there is riding here.
Oh, there's beautiful riding in New
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Gorgeous riding.
Just don't come and live on the side of town we're at. FYI.
There's a lot of bull crap going on down there with the clubs. I got run out of New Las Vegas that one night. I was telling you we went up 104. The guy I ride with, him and I ended up getting run out of there just because I had this on, and it don't even have patches on it. I just didn't want any trouble, so we packed up and left. That's the only thing I don't care for as far as Albuquerque itself goes. You know.
I don't know. I don't like the drivers.
We don't like drivers anywhere around here.
This is about the only guy I can stand in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Angry Boomer wants to know what we're drinking. I got Jack Daniels.
I started off on Pendleton, but that shit's expensive, so we're here now.
And he's got Bride the Biker special.
Drinking Dr. Pepper, brought to you by Bride the Biker.
Oh, wait, now, what do you have in that Dr. Pepper? Because this is Dr. Pepper also, but it's just mixed with this. And if y'all haven't had it, Dr. Pepper and Fireball is the best in the world.
Is it? I'll have to try it.
Oh, it's amazing. If you can find vanilla Dr. Pepper, it's even better.
Well,
You know, I did the eggnog and Fireball,
Mm-hmm.
and that shit's good.
No, that's what I've been sipping on the whole time. Dr. Pepper Fireball.
when I can find it, I like Jameson and root beer.
Jameson and root beer is really good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite is Jameson, just straight. If I'm gonna mix, it's Jack and Coke. Shots or tequila. I'm a simple guy.
Yeah, freaking. You sure you
I
don't
like
want?
Scotch, but I drink a lot of Pendleton. If I'm gonna sit down and sip on some whiskey, that's what I'm gonna sip on.
Well,
So hopefully that answered his question, what we're drinking.
does New Mexico have a shot that's made with green chili?
I've heard
I'm
of
sure they do. They got everything made with green chili. You
That's what I'm saying.
get green chili flavor in just about anything.
Oh my gosh! First time, as soon as we got here. You want green, red, or Christmas? It's the middle of summer. Why do I want Christmas? They're like, oh no, it's both of them. All right, I'll try it. Not for this country boy. That green chili. It tastes good. It don't feel good.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, Jack and Coke. Drank gallons of it. Not a big fan of Jack anymore. Just don't care for it.
Why you two had a fight?
No, I don't know. And if we would have, it have won, but we won't go there.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. So, well, we've done this for an hour and a half. I don't like to run these things too long, so I got
We're good.
two guests. And we'll start with Disruption. Final thoughts. Shout out to your channel. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, if you want to go watch, go watch. If you don't, you don't. My channel's going to be, I'm going to do it when I feel like doing it. I'm not going to be chasing subs and all of that crap. I'll video when I video, and I'll post when I post. And other than that, you see me and a big red bitch out on the road, stop, say hi.
All right. All right, El Buffalo, your turn.
Just appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody getting on. Appreciate you having me on for one. It's always good just to sit here and bullshit. But yeah, you get a chance, go check out my channel. I think most everybody in the chat seems like I know everybody in the chat. Thank you all for being here and supporting your live. You're doing a good job with it. So see it grow.
I appreciate it. I'm glad we got to do it since all of us, spent time together. I've rode with both of you. Became really good friends with both of you. So I'm appreciative of that. So everybody in the chat, come back next week. Monday, I got Arrow from the CEO from Zero coming on. We're going to discuss some accessory stuff and answer any questions you guys got. In the meantime, go over, check these guys' channels out, watch, support, and I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm appreciative for everybody that's been coming. I love doing this, and I put time in putting the show on because I want to be able to give you guys great information, and not just be a lot of dead space or waste of time. Even if you get to miss it, that way it'd still be a good resource for you. But thanks everybody for coming on. You two just hang right there, and we will see you guys next Monday for the weekend hangover. Later.
Later, guys.